Introduction to the KiwiSDR by Andy KB1UIF. KiwiSDRs, what are they? KiwiSDRs are online multi-user software-defined radios covering the HF bands from 10 kHz to 30 MHz, located all over the world that you can freely access from a web browser on your computer, tablet or even smartphone. No special software to install or use, just a regular web browser like Edge, Firefox, Chrome, but not apparently Internet Explorer. This is basically what the KiwiSDR looks like. It's a piggyback board that connects to a BeagleBone, and there you can see a picture of the KiwiSDR piggybacking on top of the BeagleBone microprocessor board. This is the picture of my KiwiSDR. I bought a metal enclosure for it, which includes a fan to keep it nice and cool. So here's a view of the one end of the KiwiSDR enclosure. You've got the DC input here, a USB client connection, you've got the Ethernet connection which connects to the internet, because it's not Wi-Fi, it's hardwired. And then you've got a USB host connection, so you could connect other items to it. So you've got an RF input for the HF antenna. There's also a GPS antenna input. It comes with a GPS antenna, and that's quite important because what it does, it enables the KiwiSDR to register the GPS time. So what that means is that everything's accurate to the GPS clock. So frequencies are spot on to a GPS referenced oscillator. So that's really good because then you know everything's on frequency. If you lose GPS signals for the KiwiSDR, there is a way to manually configure the clock reference, but it's ideally you want to use the GPS reference because that's very accurate. So here's my KiwiSDR in use. It's got some LEDs here to give a status, power indicator and so forth. So here's the Ethernet connection that's hardwired, and here's my power supply going into it. On the other end we've got the HF antenna and the GPS antenna connection. So once you've connected to a KiwiSDR, you can listen to it, tune it, record from it, use the built-in decoders for modes such as fax, SSTV, FSK, DRM, CW, FT8, FT4, HFDL, ALE, Whisper. There's time signals you can decode, and even direction finding, where you use multiple KiwiSDRs in conjunction with one another to actually give you a time difference means of direction finding. Or if you prefer, just listen in various modes like AM, narrow AM, upper sideband, lower sideband, narrow FM, QAM, etc. A very handy use of the KiwiSDR is to monitor your own transmitted signals from other stations located all over the globe. KiwiSDRs can be accessed either from the main Kiwi website, which is KiwiSDR.com. There's a KiwiSDR map website, which is at rx.linkfanel.net. The KiwiSDR listing website, so you can go to KiwiSDR.com/public, and directly you could go to my KiwiSDR, for example. So this is an external means to access my KiwiSDR with a direct link. And my KiwiSDR supports up to 4 simultaneous users. Obviously you can listen to and use any that are available online. So if you go to the KiwiSDR.com site, this is what you're going to be presented with. And there are links here where you can go to various screens to access the various Kiwis, like the map site and so on. So you can go to the map list, and this actually reports how well the SDR is working. This is what you'll typically see when you go to the map website. So it'll show you all the SDRs across the world, and these are actually color coded, giving indications of how well they're performing. So to zoom in on any of these SDRs, this is my SDR. If you hover over here, you'll get some basic information. You can click on here and then you can go directly to any of the KiwiSDRs that you see on the map. This is more information that you can get from each of these pin markers on the map. You can see we're zoomed in a little bit more onto my KiwiSDR, and you can see a lot more information here with regards to how the SDRs are configured and how many users, etc. So here we've got a listing of all the SDRs, and you can click in the box here and search for a specific one if there's a specific one that you want to use. So when you go to any of these Kiwis, you'll be presented with a start button, and you just click on there and the SDR will start working for you. This is typical of what you'll see when you first enter to a KiwiSDR site, and you'll see this waterfall, and it'll default to a particular frequency and mode, and you'll often get this welcome message and a control panel which is down here, giving you all the ability to tune and listen, adjust the volume, etc. So this is the welcome message that you'll see to the left hand side if it's visible. And this is the control panel. So from the control panel here, you can enter a frequency directly in here in kilohertz. You can change the frequency up and down with these buttons here. So these are more coarse than this one. This is the fine adjustment, fine up in frequency, down in frequency, and then you've got coarse and more coarse frequency adjustment. You've got all the different modes that you can select. Here you can zoom in. This is zooming out or zooming in. You've got these different options here, which are basically different tabs. You've got the adjustments for the waterfall. You've got auto scaling for that if you're not sure how to adjust this, and then you've got an S meter at the bottom here. And these are all the typical screens you'll get from looking at these different options here. So you've got the waterfall, you've got audio adjustment for volume, pan, you can pan from left and right, then you've got AGC adjustments. Then down here you've got, it'll tell you what users, if you click here it'll tell you what users are online. Here it'll give you the stats, how long it's been up and running, etc. Then this basically goes back to the beginning, but if you click on this off button, it'll actually remove some of the information that's on the screen, like it might reduce information at the top of the screen. So here we go again. This is typical of what you'll see on a KiwiSDR, except the waterfall will be moving. And then you'll have all these options at the top here for clicking to go specifically to a frequency or a label, and it'll tune directly to that. Up the top here you can see all the different bands that are available and labeled. And what you'll see is the whole 30 megs of HF displayed. If you zoom right out on these screens, you can see all of 30 megs at one time. So here we're zoomed in a little bit more. We're in AM mode, and here we're at 9330. And if you look closely here, you'll see the frequency and divisions, and this is in AM mode, and it's highlighted here to show you you're in AM. And this is typically what you'll see for an AM transmission. You'll see a carrier with the two sidebands either side for AM. And here we're zoomed right in, and you can see the label of this particular radio station, or stations, because there may be more than one using a particular frequency. These labels can be customized by the owner of the KiwiSDR, or you can get standardized labels. That's an option. So here again we're still at 9330 kilohertz, or 9.330 megahertz. Here we've got an upper sideband signal, and here would be the frequency that we're tuned to, and this would be the bandwidth that we're listening to the upper sideband. So you can actually grab the end of this or here and actually adjust the bandwidth of the audio that you're going to listen to. Here we're on 20 meters, listening to, or would be listening to, an upper sideband signal. So as far as other features of the KiwiSDR, you've got things like decoders. So if you come over to here, you'll see that I've got selected FSK, and as part of the FSK decoder, you can select things like time decoding. Here we're tuned to the CHU Canada frequency approximately, because this is the actual frequency, which would be 3330. The decoding is actually done a little bit off that frequency, hence the difference here. But you can see we're in FSK mode, and this is telling us how we're set up in that particular mode, and this is the display of the decoding of that particular frequency. So it's actually giving us a real-time clock information from that transmitter. Here we've got another FSK signal, and if you look down the bottom here, it'll tell you that we're actually on a weather station, and some more information about that particular station. And then these are the results of the decoding of that FSK signal on 10.1 megahertz or thereabouts. If you look here, you can see where the peaks of the signal are located approximately. It's a little bit off here, but it's decoding pretty well. Here we're receiving a fax signal, and this is from, if you look down here, we're decoding the fax signal from Boston, NMF Boston, and obviously it's an American station. It's the frequency, so you can select that and go straight to it automatically, and then you're in this case, fax mode, and you get the fax decoding screen up the top here. So this will show you the image being displayed one line at a time as the fax signal is received. And there's a received fax completed. Here's another fax coming in again from the Boston station. So now what we've got here is some FT8 decoding. So again, in this box, you've got a variety of decoders, and now we've selected FT8, and we're on the 20 meter FT8 frequency. And so anything within this bandwidth here is going to get decoded, and the information is being displayed up the top here. Here we've got some HFDL, which is basically information that you'll receive or decode that's used in conjunction with aircraft. And here you can see we're looking at the detailed information. So this is from Riverhead, New York, and you can see more information listed here. So you've got it time stamped and frequency, etc. We can go to a different screen in the HFDL mode, which will actually plot aircraft. So when it picks up various aircraft and base transmitters, it can actually plot them on a map for you, and you can zoom in and look at them in more detail. It's quite a nice feature. So there's a CW decoder built in as well. So when you select the CW decoder, you'll get this split screen where you've got the actual audio up here, and you can adjust this line to decode the signal better, and then the output from the decoder will appear down here. It's not great, but it does work if you're patient with it. Here we're looking at analog slow scan TV screens, and this is a mode where you decode a line at a time, you receive a line at a time. So this is the SSTV, one of the SSTV frequencies. This one's on 20 meters. We've also got DRM, digital radio mondial, and so these are digital transmissions that are on shortwave, on HF, and this has the capability of decoding those as well. It'll give you various information, the mode, and sometimes there's multiple channels, not just a single channel of audio. So no images here, but right now we're not actually getting a signal, but this is basically what you'll see when you're in the DRM mode. So Whisper is a slow transmission. It's a very slow transmission, and this has the capability of decoding these frames, and the output is being shown down here. So that's in Whisper mode, what we call Whisper WSPR mode. And there's some more information. So my KiwiSDR is online at kb1uif-kiwisdr.ddns.net:8073. Or you can visit my QRZ page for a link to it, or go directly to my QSL page. You can also check out my YouTube channel, just search for KB1UIF. So thank you for your attention. Send3, this is Andy, KB1UIF. I also hold the call G6JVS. Send3 for now.